Do I look pretty? Welcome back to Cloudy Cleric. I'm Oliver. Hi, hello. Today I'm going to be doing a Stranger Things book review for these two books. These are the two books that are listed for adult or older readers on the Stranger Things book website. They have like a book website. It's like readstrangerthings.com or something like that. Readstrangerthings.com. You can find all of the Stranger Things books. I read both of them, and I am actually filming this intro after I've done my review on the books, because originally this video was like all over the fucking place, and I was talking about Starcourt, and then the ice creams, and then how when I watched It Chapter 2, I couldn't tell which white guy was which because they all looked the same except for Bill Hader. Yeah, basically, if you hear me talking about ice cream or Starcourt or whatever, it's just because that's what the video was originally going to be about, and then I ended up getting off topic. So, yeah. This is my review on these two books. If you are interested in reading these books, you can keep watching. I don't think I spoiler anything, I would say. I try to keep my reviews pretty spoiler-free in case you do want to read the books. I might, mention, something here or there, but, So, yeah, let's get into the video right now. Basically, this book, Suspicious Minds, is the better out of the two, written for a more adult audience. Basically, it follows Terry Ives, Becky Ives, Dr. Brenner, Callie, aka 8, Alice, Gloria, and Ken. Ken! That's the name of the guy. That's the name of the gay guy. Okay. In terms of the Stranger Things timeline, we have our first official gay character, which is Ken, which is a gay-ass name. That's so funny, because the Barbie movie just came out. Also, Andrew, who is Eleven's official father. He was a great guy. Love you, Andrew. This book just goes over a lot of what happened in MK Ultra. When you watch season 2 and you hear about Callie and Eleven's mom, you might notice some plot holes. I wouldn't say they're just plot holes, they're just questions. And I feel like this book does a really great job at explaining some of the questions that you might have been asking yourself during season 2. For example, it goes over Callie's relationship with Dr. Brenner, who is Eleven's dad, Dr. Brenner's relationship with Terry, why does Callie have different powers than the others, that kind of stuff. Plus, as a gay guy, Ken, love you, Ken. Actually, this book did a really great job at just creating lovable characters. I just feel like every character in this book, rather than Dr. Brenner, the main cast, the protagonists, I was actively rooting for them. So I really think it was well written in that sort of way. Hello, this is me, editing this video. Forgot to mention, Alice, Gloria, and Ken are also people part of the MK Ultra experiments. I feel like I didn't go over that, so you might be really confused. That's why they're there. It also has prompted me to ship very specific, very, very specific ships that nobody will get unless they've read this book. Ken x Andrew is real. Ken and Andrew? They're gay. Alice, she was definitely some sort of queer right there. Alice x Gloria? Don't even get me started. Alice x Terry? Don't get me started. I have only positive things to say about this book. I really enjoyed it. If you like Stranger Things, you will enjoy this book right here. Suspicious Minds by Gwenda Bond. Good job, Gwenda! Good job! Woo! Which, unfortunately, brings me to our second book for adults readers, Stranger Things Darkness on the Edge of Town. It's around 100 pages more than Suspicious Minds was. And not that I disliked this book, but there were definitely times where I'm just when is this going to be over? And granted, it wasn't because it was 100 pages longer. I read 1,000-page books before. I read The Goldfinch. I've heard so many people be there were just times when I absolutely hated this book and I wanted it to end. I never felt that way. I was personally invested enough in the characters of that story, and the writing style was good enough to keep me wanting more. To keep me wanting to turn the page and see what happens to Theo. The writing just wasn't as good for this one. And I definitely do think it gets better the more that you read it. It's just the first 200 pages are kind of just I actively was going to drop reading this book until I realized that I could read this for an assignment for my class. If you're unaware, it follows Hopper, but Hopper when he lived in New York and was a homicide detective in New York, so it's kind of like a murder mystery. Also, his homicide detective partners, what his relationship was like with his previous wife, and Sarah, which is always cute because Sarah was like still healthy when this book takes place, so it's just nice to see his relationship with Sarah that isn't like weighed down by the fact that she died, that kind of thing. And then also it alternates between Christmas of 1984. Yes, Christmas of 1984. That's between Stranger Things 2 and Stranger Things 3. Hopper is just telling this story to Eleven after she's inquiring about his past. It talks a lot about Hopper's trauma, specifically with Vietnam, which I thought was very interesting because I feel like that's kind of just glazed over in the show. This man, Hopper, he's been through it. He has been through it, especially in this book. This book gets fucking crazy. It was a good read. It was a fine read. It was an okay read. The main reason why I wanted to drop this book in the first place is just because there was something about how the writer wrote, like, Black people and people of color. Like, I can't pinpoint it. It just made me, like, vaguely uncomfortable. I think Hopper's homicide detective partner is Latina. I could be wrong. She's not white. The only main, like, Black characters in this book are in the violent cult gang that Hopper has to go undercover to investigate in. They just don't get a lot of depth in the book. Like, I don't want to go into spoilers, but I definitely feel like all the characters of color in this book just didn't get the same treatment that the white characters did. For example, there's a character, her name is Lisa. She's a stage magician, but she actually has like a master's or a PhD in psychology. I don't remember which one it was. But then we had one of our main, like Rosa, Hopper's partner. We didn't learn anything about her throughout the course of the entire book. We barely learned anything about Rosa. Leroy, not much was done in his entire character arc. I don't want to go into spoilers, but was kind of thrown away in like the last quarter of the book. And we never really got like a resolution on it. Like, I don't think there needed to be a resolution on it. It was just weird. I didn't enjoy it too much. So that's that. That's my opinion. If you're gonna read one of the Stranger Things novels, please read Suspicious Minds by Gwenda Bond. You can read Darkness on the Edge of Town. I will say it gets really entertaining, I would say, past the 200-page mark. Like, the pacing at the beginning wasn't too good. It was kind of like really slow and boring for the first 200 pages. But once it springs into action, like it springs into action, and you're like, whoa. It's just a fucking wild story. I can't even begin to explain. Part of the book project I did on Darkness on the Edge of Town for school, I had to write like a summary of the book. And I think my summary, the minimum word length was like 750 words, right? I wrote 2,000 words trying to summarize this book. Because it goes everywhere. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm a nerd. I like reading. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe if you like Stranger Things or Byler. I love Stranger Things and Byler, and I'm gay. This is a gay flag right here. And this is an otter. Stranger Things is my special interest. I love Stranger Things in a very autistic way. And in a normal way. Definitely. Look like a deer in headlights. So, yeah, I should DM Noah Schnapp and see if he wants to be on my channel. Could you imagine if he said yes? God, okay. Oliver Army, I'm commanding you. Start spamming Noah Schnapp with links to my channel so he can collaborate with me. Just kidding. Please don't do that. Please don't spam anyone. Please. I'm embarrassed that I even am going to say... I'm probably going to cut this out of the video. I'm not, because whenever I say I'm going to cut something out of the video, I always leave it in the video. But don't do it, please. Alright, I actually have some dumplings upstairs for me. I don't really like dumplings that much. Turns out when your parents ask you for dinner requests and you say no and you walk downstairs, and then if they ask you if you're okay, you just don't respond because like you're groggy and cranky, that like actually sometimes what they end up making for dinner is not something that you like. Okay, like, subscribe. I love you guys. See ya!